9 AD, a Roman army marches through dense, fog-shrouded forests of Germania. 5,000 men, legionaries of the empire, trained, disciplined, confident. They expect open fields, quick victories, the familiar rhythm of Roman conquest. They are wrong. Every step forward leads deeper into a trap. The forest waits, the enemy waits, time is on their side, and what happens next will change the course of history. On this channel, we explore the decisive moments in history where discipline, systems, and decisions determined outcomes. We do not focus on heroes, myths, or legends. We study forces, strategies, and consequences. We look at how one choice, one miscalculation, one environment can turn certainty into disaster. Today, we enter a forest where the greatest army in the ancient world met a problem it could not solve. This is not just a story of a Roman defeat. It is about why the empire never fully subdued Germania, why the Rhine remained a border, not a bridge, and how 40,000 warriors, dispersed yet disciplined in their own way, used patience, terrain, and insight to reshape the ambitions of one of history's greatest militaries. We are not asking who won, we are asking why could the invincible fail. To understand the Second Battle of Teutoburg, we must first understand the empire itself. Rome was a machine, a military-industrial machine before such a term existed. Legions drilled daily, their movements synchronized to perfection. Roads connected garrisons, supply chains spanned hundreds of miles. Every soldier had a role, every officer knew procedure, yet even the most precise machine is vulnerable to unfamiliar environments. And Germania was unfamiliar. The tribes of the north were scattered, often fighting each other. But beneath this chaos lay a system of survival, knowledge, and opportunistic coordination. They knew the land better than the Romans ever could. Swamps slowed marching columns, rivers blocked reinforcements, forests hid ambushes. The first Teutoburg disaster of 09 AD had already proven the limits of Roman power. 3 legions vanished. General Varus died. The empire's northern ambitions stalled. Rome learned, but did not forget. Yet even preparation could not eliminate uncertainty. By the mid-1st century, Rome had rebuilt. Legions marched through Gaul, Britain, Hispania, consolidating power. Germania, however, remained a thorn, a land where Roman discipline clashed with irregular tactics and natural defenses. The Germans had learned from previous encounters. They observed Roman habits, their dependence on roads, their predictable marching patterns, their reliance on formations. They were patient. They did not need to win in a single strike. They needed the Romans to make the first mistake. This is a story not just of combat, but of decision-making, timing, and adaptation, or the failure to adapt. The Romans relied on structure. Each legion was divided into centuries, cohorts, maniples. Every soldier knew his position. Every officer knew the chain of command. The system thrived in open fields, where maneuvering space allowed formations to operate at maximum efficiency. But this was Germania. Dense forests, narrow trails, uneven terrain. The Roman system, which was their strength elsewhere, became their weakness here. The Germanics, by contrast, were not uniform. No single command, no single plan. Yet in their chaos was flexibility. Local leaders coordinated attacks, using the terrain as both shield and weapon. A river bend could become a trap, a hilltop a sniper's nest. Trees funneled Roman columns into kill zones. The Romans had discipline, training, and armor. The Germanics had insight, patience, and familiarity with the forest. This battle would not be decided by strength, it would be decided by systems in conflict. It began with a march. 5,000 Roman soldiers advanced along a narrow forest trail. Heavy packs slowed them, food was rationed. The men expected skirmishes, minor attacks, perhaps local resistance. What they did not expect was an orchestrated patient trap. The Germanics, numbering perhaps 40,000, were dispersed along the trail, hidden in staggered positions. Arrows rained from above. Logs fell. Ambush points closed off escape routes. The Romans responded according to procedure. Hold formation, maintain discipline, push forward. But every standard response played into the Germans' hands. Every pause, every hesitation, every attempt to reorganize created opportunities for attack. The Romans had the tactical knowledge of battle, but the Germans had the tactical knowledge of terrain. This was not chaos. This was strategy, and the critical moment was not a single strike, it was the realization that the Romans were trapped in a system that could not function in the environment imposed upon them. The battle unfolded in phases. Phase 1. The ambush. The Germanic forces struck first with ranged attacks. Roman soldiers attempted to form defensive lines, but narrow trails prevented proper maneuvering. Rocks, mud, and trees disrupted formations. Horses and supply wagons became obstacles. The Germans did not charge. They tested, they measured, they forced mistakes. Phase 2. Fragmentation. As the Romans tried to respond, units became separated. Commanders could not coordinate. Orders were delayed. Miscommunication spread confusion. Rome's strength, centralized discipline, became a liability. Phase 3. Encirclement. The Germans had predicted this. They pushed Roman units toward choke points, rivers, ravines, and marshes. Survival depended on improvisation. But improvisation against 40,000 ambushes in familiar terrain was nearly impossible. Phase 4. Exhaustion. Days of slow engagement drained the Romans. Supplies ran low. Water became scarce. The men's morale deteriorated. Even the best trained soldiers cannot fight indefinitely without support. The Germans did not rush to victory, they let time become a weapon. Phase 5. Collapse. Eventually, Roman formations broke. Units were surrounded. Casualties mounted. Escape was impossible. Some small groups managed to retreat, but the vast majority were annihilated. The Roman commanders faced a dilemma: adhere to procedure or adapt. Discipline demanded cohesion. Instinct demanded survival. This tension, obedience versus initiative, is critical in understanding why the Romans failed. Roman officers could not abandon the system without risking order. The Germanics exploited this rigidity, knowing the Romans would hesitate. The Germanic leaders, in contrast, demonstrated a different kind of discipline. Their patience, coordination, and understanding of human behavior allowed a smaller-scale engagement to defeat a superior military machine. History often glorifies bravery, but here, patience and insight mattered more than courage. It is impossible to overstate the role of terrain. The forest was not passive. It shaped every decision, slowed every advance, and amplified every mistake. To the Romans, it was an obstacle. To the Germanics, it was a weapon. Paths disappeared. Rivers shifted. Fog concealed movements. Every tree became a potential shield or trap. Understanding the environment was more important than understanding the enemy. The Second Battle of Teutoburg teaches us that mastery of terrain is often more decisive than mastery of armies. By the end of the engagement, the Romans had suffered catastrophic losses. The 5,000 men were decimated. Few survived. The Germanics achieved their objective with minimal exposure. This victory was not about valor. It was about patience, strategy, and systems awareness. The Germans forced the Romans to fight on their terms, and the Romans failed to adapt. Rome never again attempted a deep, sustained conquest of Germania. The Rhine became a boundary. Expansion halted. Ambition was tempered by environment. The consequences were profound. 1. Military doctrine. Rome shifted its approach to irregular warfare, recognizing that discipline alone cannot guarantee victory. 2. Geopolitical boundaries. Germania remained independent, influencing the cultural and political development of Europe for centuries. 3. Psychology of empire. The idea of invincibility was challenged. Leaders learned to respect patience, terrain, and systems beyond their control. This battle was a lesson in humility for the most powerful empire of the ancient world. It was a reminder that size, strength, and discipline are only part of the equation. Observation, adaptation, and patience can outweigh even overwhelming power. The Second Battle of Teutoburg is more than a historical curiosity. It is a story of systems, decisions, and inevitability. 5,000 Romans, 40,000 Germanics, a forest that refused to bend. It reminds us that even the greatest power can falter when confronted with patience, strategy, and an environment that does not obey. History waits quietly. It does not bend to strength. It rewards insight. Which battle, which moment, which system-shattering decision should we explore next? If you want to uncover more stories where discipline, patience, and strategy shaped empires, subscribe and follow the path where decisions echo for centuries.